But things like this are quick, simple, easy fixes that will improve your efficiency. And if you're more efficient, you're going to be able to run further for longer, or you're going to be able to run a little faster in the same amount of distance that you're used to. What's going on today, YouTube, and welcome back to the channel. And make sure you guys hit like, subscribe, notification bell, all that jazz. Anyways, today you clicked on this video because you want to know how to breathe when you're running. Interesting that breathing is a very natural concept to all of us. In fact, it's so natural we don't even think about it on a day-to-day basis. But now you are, because now I got you thinking about breathing. Breathe in.
Breathe out.
Just a natural thing to do. You breathe in, you breathe out. However though, once we start running and once we start accumulating blood lactate and things start getting uncomfortable, then we really notice our breathing rate increasing. We start ventilating more because we need more oxygen coming in and we need to push out more carbon dioxide. The goal of running is to breathe natural. You breathe natural, you will run faster. So in this video, we're going to talk about what's the proper breath to step ratio, and we're going to talk a little bit about the science. So like I said, don't forget to like and subscribe. Anyways, let's continue. Let's talk a little more about breathing. Let's talk about the natural rhythm. Let's talk about what happens when you're actually breathing, when you're running. Breathing and running. Once we have a lack of oxygen coming into our body, that's going to create uncomfortable breathing. This leads us to want to breathe harder, ventilate a little more, because we're having an increase in CO2 in our lungs. The science. Interestingly enough, of the air we breathe, normal day in buildings, outside, etc., only 0.04% of that is actually carbon dioxide. So that is a 25th of 1% of all the chemicals we breathe. It just kind of goes to show you how influential, how significant CO2 really is on our body, how uncomfortable it makes us feel when we have too much of it. Which is why, as runners, it is good for us to adapt our body to higher concentrations of CO2, but not all the time. So let's talk a little bit about breathing rhythm. What's the kind of steps we need to take when we're breathing to make sure we take in the right amount of oxygen while pushing out the right amount of CO2? Well, rhythm is measured by the depth of our breath and the number of breaths we take, the number of ventilations we take. Ideally, the most accomplished runners of our day are comfortable with a 2x2, which means for every 2 steps they take, they breathe out, then they take 2 more steps, then they breathe in. This is their comfortable rhythm. This is their breathing rhythm. This is the breathing rhythm of elite athletes. For you guys, next time you go on a run, I highly encourage you try this. Really think about 1-2 steps, breathe in, and then 1-2 steps, breathe out. The ideal cadence is 180 steps per minute. That means 90 steps with your left foot, 90 steps with your right foot every minute when you run. And if you want me to make a video about what proper cadence is, drop a comment down below. I will do it. So, if we're doing a 2x2 breathing system, that means you take 180 and divide it by 4, and that gets you 45 breaths per minute. This is ideal. So if you're taking 45 breaths a minute when you're out running, you are now practicing the breathing rhythm of elite, accomplished athletes. Congrats. However though, let me tell you about why we don't want to breathe faster or the way we don't want to breathe slower. If we're breathing slower and we're doing a 4x4 count, so you take 4 steps, you breathe out, 4 steps, you breathe in, that means you're only taking 22.5 breaths per minute. You're not bringing in as much oxygen and you're not pushing out as much carbon dioxide as the guy that's doing a 2x2. Or if you do a 3x3, take 180, divide it by 6, and you get 30 breaths per minute. Again, we're not up to par with the 2x2 guy, but we're doing a lot better than the 4x4 guy. So if you breathe too slow, you're not taking in enough oxygen and you're not pushing out enough carbon dioxide in an efficient manner. Now, let's say we really pick up our breathing and we do a 1x1. Every step, breathe in, and then the next step, breathe out. You take 180 divided by 2, you're taking 90 breaths a minute. That's almost near hyperventilation. You're like, maybe not that fast, but you get my point. You're breathing too fast, and The faster you breathe, the more energy you're spending. And if you're spending too much energy, you're running inefficiently. Therefore, you're not running at your peak performance. Sure, it may feel good at first because you're getting in a lot of oxygen, but you're breathing too fast. You're spending too much energy breathing too fast, and that in the long term is going to make you slow down. You might even hit the wall faster than you really should have. This is why 2x2 is what you aim for. And when you do cadence, you're aiming for 180 steps a minute. I know it's really uncomfortable at first for a lot of runners to go 180 steps per minute because it almost feels like a shuffle when you first start trying to focus on hitting the 180 steps. But the more you practice, the more you run, the more natural it becomes. So as long as your cadence is in line with 180 steps per minute and your breathing is a 2x2, you take 2 steps, you breathe out, you take 2 steps, you breathe in, bada bang, bada boom, you are now practicing like an elite runner. So that is your breathing rhythm in a nutshell. I know this concept seems super simple, super easy, but believe me, it is a lot harder when you go out and practice. With practice does come perfection. And the more you practice this, the better you're going to get at it. And at first it's going to seem really uncomfortable. I'm not going to sugarcoat that. But if you really practice this, in a week or 2 you might actually begin to see some returns. This is going to put you in the most efficient state possible when it comes to running. You practice 2 steps, breathe out, 2 steps, breathe in, boom. You are now running like the professionals. Yeah! And I know a lot of people want quick, easy fixes when it comes to improving their running speed. And unfortunately, you gotta really practice. You really gotta put in the work to do this. But things like this are quick, simple, easy fixes that will improve your efficiency. And if you're more efficient, you're gonna be able to run further, for longer, or you're gonna be able to run a little faster in the same amount of distance that you're used to. That's efficiency in a nutshell. As long as you practice 180 steps, you take 2 steps, you breathe out, 2 steps, you breathe in, you will be running at the ideal breathing rhythm that is similar to the elite athletes. So next time you go out and run, I encourage you to just naturally go out and see how many steps you take before you actually take a breath in. Generally, if you're on an easy day and you're doing an easy run, it's not uncommon to find yourself doing 4 steps and then breathe out and then 4 steps and breathe in. But every run you do, I actually highly encourage you try to take 2 steps, you breathe out, you take 2 steps, you breathe in. Like I said, it's kind of uncomfortable because of how quick these are. But once you get a little more comfortable, you're going to be bringing in the right amount of oxygen and flushing out the right amount of CO2 to make you run at your most efficient. So anyways, guys, I'm going to leave it like that. That is my spiel on breathing rhythm. If you guys found this information useful, drop a comment down below. If you guys want any more videos about cadence or running drills or running events that you want me to cover, or you want more training plans specific to biking or triathlons or specific running events like 10Ks, 5Ks, marathons, drop a comment down below. I won't know what you guys want filmed if you don't comment down below or you don't hit like and you don't hit subscribe. Comment down below, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell if you guys want to see more of this stuff. Anyways, guys, with that said, I hope you have a great one, and next time you go out and run, really try to hone in on that 2x2. Alrighty guys, hope you found this useful. I'll see you next time. Bye.